Tonight on the All Kinds Weather Forecast, All-American tight end and reoccurring guest Ben Troupe joins the show to talk about the Miami Hurricanes and the 2024 Florida Gators. This is the All Kinds of Weather Forecast. And welcome in to another episode of the All Kinds Weather Forecast. I'm your host, Chris Yanes, alongside my co-host, Neil Schulman. And tonight, we've got another exciting guest, a reoccurring guest. This is a fun tradition every year. Tight end, All-American, former NFL star Ben Troupe is joining us on the show. Before we get to all that and what we're going to discuss with him today, please, if you're not already, make sure you're subscribed down below if you're watching on YouTube. Leave a comment. Let us know what you are excited for in this matchup with the Miami Hurricanes or the 2024 Gators football season. And if you're listening on any of our audio platforms, make sure to be following along and leave us a five-star review. It helps bring Gator Nation more great content. Well, Ben, welcome back to the All Kinds Weather Forecast. We are so excited to have you once again. How's it been, my man?
It's been great. It's always a pleasure coming on with you guys. It's almost like it's like you guys are becoming my beginning of the season tradition. I know the season's officially. I know now we got week zeros, which Florida used to be we were 4 years removed from being in week zero. But no man, the season is here. Very excited. Reason to be very listen, let me say this. I'm excited and I'm biased. So that people know, yes, my bias is real. I'm gonna be biased to the end. But I'm also excited. I like what Florida gonna bring to the table, which we'll get into. But the Miami boys, they coming to town, man. They got they got some fake hype going on down there in Coral Gables. We'll see if it's all smoke once they get to Gainesville.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all right. Well, we're gonna kind of break this show up into two different parts. We wanted to get your thoughts first on really what you think is going to happen in the 2024 season. And the first question we'll get into today, and Neil and I will go back and forth here. But kind of, obviously you're a former player. You're
Hmm.
plugged into the program. You talk to people down there in Gainesville. What are the things you're seeing and the things you're hearing about this team? And have they done enough this offseason and the workouts, fall camp to move the needle, to get better in the 2024 season? Because obviously the last two seasons are just unacceptable to the Gator standard.
They have the biggest thing they did is they went out there and got some offensive line help. I mean, you talk about getting George coming over from Alabama. You talk about being able, I think our offensive line is going to be retooled, but it starts there. Obviously, the one thing they did the best, I think, is get this defense hungry. Because I think the thing about the Florida Gator defense, right, wrong, and different, man, we don't give them enough praise when they do good, and we give them way too much blame when they do bad. I think what they've done this year, and this is coming from players that's been there, former teammates like Steve Harris, who I saw him when he was at the scrimmage. He said, "Look, the guys, they getting lined up. You got LJ McCray who look like anything but a freshman. You got Miles Graham, who's probably going to play some at linebacker this year. You got Asa Turner, who I don't think people give him enough credit for. Asa don't have to be the best DB in the secondary. He has to be the smartest, and he's gonna be. Played a lot of big time football. Understands this. The very first play of 2023, every Florida Gator fan said the same thing. What in the world? The very first play. That will not happen if Asa's back there. That's not going to happen. And when you talk about a team that's going to go through the run game, Graham Mertz deciding to come back in 2024 was the biggest decision. Like Pearsall decided to come back in 2023. That's huge because y'all know I don't care what you got around them. You can have the best O line, best running game, best defense. You don't got a good quarterback. It don't matter. And for me, and everybody's talking about these Heisman Trophy front runners like Carson Beck and Dylan Gabriel and so on and so forth. 20 touchdowns, two picks, 2,900 yards. What do you want from me? 2,900 yards, two picks, or three picks, or whatever it was. So,
One of them was not his fault, by the way. It was a
exactly. And
deflected
those are
ball.
tip balls. The story of
Yeah.
this team will be the health of Graham Mertz and the complementary play on defense. Mind you, if our defense is just complimentary last year, we win more games.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was against Mizzou. What is it, fourth and forever? And there is no things like that just can't happen. I don't care what level, but the story of this team will be a culture that while still being built is farther along. It takes the hardest thing to build in college football or in anything is culture. You got my guys. I got the guys I got in the portal, not guys we saw. We got the guys we wanted in the portal. And I think it's a blend of veteran and young leadership. You're gonna have a bunch of young guys. I think will get a chance to go out there and play this year. And I do want to see the young boy. I mean, I do want to see DJ Lagway. I don't want to see him for real. I want to see him. I don't want him to play meaningful snaps because if he is, that means that either Graham isn't playing well or he's hurt. I don't want either one of those things to happen. But the story of the 2024 Florida Gators will be, are they for real? Because with a schedule like this, 8-4, dare I say 9-3, 9-3 gets us in the playoffs. With this schedule, 9-3, and I don't care who those three are, we get in. 8-4 means, hey man, we did 8-4 with who we fought. As a boxer, if I'm a boxer and I'm undefeated, if I ain't fought nobody, it don't matter. But if everybody I fought was world champs, we got a lot of big time talent. I mean, big time teams coming up. So I think it's going to be the health of Graham Mertz, the complimentary play on defense, and if our DBs can just track the ball in the air and don't do nothing. I think Florida got good a shot as any but the first 6 weeks of the season, fellas, will decide our whole season. Because that middle of the season to the end, I don't know who these schedule makers are, but Billy Napier need to go to church or do something. Oh, good Lord. I said, what type of schedule is this? I mean, we literally play everybody in Florida but USF, FAU, and FIU. They gave us a big FU when it comes to this freaking schedule. My God, it's just like crazy. But hey, I'm not going to complain. I will take it. I played in Florida. I know how it goes. The health of Graham Mertz, the complimentary play on defense, and if our DBs cannot just get lost in the sauce when they're talking about one-on-one and for sure tackling, I think Florida got good a shot. Don't mean we going to, go undefeated. I know we ain't going to go undefeated, but I think we got a good shot this season.
Yeah, I mean the clip from Brandon Seiler and Swamp Kings comes to mind. Make the non-churchy word tackle. Sometimes it's just that simple. You got to execute and make the tackles. Wanted to ask you specifically about some of the moves Napier's made this offseason. You touched on some of them, but getting a guy like Asa Turner in the secondary, getting a guy like Joey Slackman on the defensive line, a Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon on the offensive line, and Elijah Badger from Arizona State. The talk has been Florida's upgraded its roster. To me, the big upgrade seems to be they've upgraded not just the talent, because I think that's a given. They've upgraded the experience level around this team. So talk to me about what you've seen in terms of that playing out and how you think that experience might pay off down the road this year.
The experience pays off because you got a bunch of guys that's coming from either playing winning football as an individual or winning football as a team. And players want to know what it takes. I mean, the last time, Asa coming over from UW, I mean, face it, people. Did anybody see UW doing that last year? No, but they did do it. They did do it. And I think the thing is, you bringing in proven players. You're not bringing in players that no one knows. You're bringing in players that they're at the top of their game, but they want. Let's face it, Florida is a resume booster. If I am going to boost my resume, I want to go one to the SEC, and I want to go to a team that matters. Well, Florida checks both of those boxes. They matter, and they're big time football. But you got guys who going to hold guys accountable. They're not going to let guys just do this. Player-led teams are the best teams. Coaches are going to yell and scream and scheme so much. They ain't going to let guys just not. I said not going to let guys not play hard. Slackman ain't going to let guys not play hard on the D-line. And I know we down one D-lineman. I know we got the D-line, the interior D-line position going to be more by committee. You talk about what we was able to do on the offensive line. What Florida did is they brought in mentality through experience. Hey, man, y'all, they coming with a mentality. These ain't guys that's just going to tiptoe around the facility. They're going to let you know who they are, but they're going to prove they're going to show who they are by the way they play. And that's what every team needs. Young players need to be shown the way. Talent is not enough. 5 and 4 stars, it ain't enough. You got to have a guy to show me how to do this. That's why, I'm going to say it again. The greatest thing that ever happened to DJ Lagway is Graham Mertz. You don't care how good you are. You got to know how to do it. The greatest thing ever happened to Tim Tebow, Chris Leak. Because if I got to come in and do it, by the time I'm ready to play, my confidence could be shot and my body is beat up. No, I need to be fresh in both areas. So what Coach Napier was able to do, he was able to go out there and get some veteran guys who will preach to the players what he's preaching in front of the team. Because coaches' words get sour because the coach got to do it every day. Players that say, listen, man, I'm going to know the way, I'm going to go the way, and I'm going to show the way. That's what leaders do. And I think we got a bunch of, and we had a bunch of leaders already on the team, but you bring in guys that can go with those guys. Even Pup, man, what's his name? Pup? What's his
Pup
name?
Howard
Pup
from South
Howard
Carolina.
coming in
Yep.
from South Carolina. Like, you got guys who they want to be here. Like, they want to be here in Florida. And if I've been in Florida for a year, I don't know where I'm at. If I got somebody coming in from South Carolina, from UW, from Arizona State, they'll say, "Do you know where you at? What, bruh? Do you? This is Florida." Like sometimes it takes that, and I appreciate the guys we brought in. They blend in well, but they coming with them until they ain't coming over here so they can play in Florida. They coming over here to win. They want to win. So I appreciate those guys for that mentality.
So the next question I have revolves around a very hot button issue in the Florida Gator fan base. The way that it's been phrased, the English that people use is, what does Billy Napier have to do to not get fired and come back in 2025? I'm going to phrase it in a more positive outlook since we are in the shadow of the season starting, and I'll ask it this way. What does Billy Napier do, or what does Billy Napier have to do to put things together in 2024 and at the same time show you that he is indeed this guy that we were so hyped about getting from Louisiana?
How many games? How many wins past 7 can he get? And how does he look in those losses? Meaning, I am not predicting. I'm not looking forward to losing, but we're not going to go undefeated. So if he, a lot of people got us going, 7-5. Just say he gets to 8-4. Dare I say he gets to 9-3. Number one, that's proven that one, he's built for it. Because sometimes, right, wrong, and different, you just ain't built for this job. And that don't mean you ain't a good coach. Ron Zook was a good coach, but he wasn't built to be the head coach at Florida for a long period of time, right? And sometimes you're ready to be a head coach, just not here yet. Because I think Billy Napier's a great coach, but for me, it's how many wins can he get past 7? How does he look in a losing ever? Because you know what we do over here at Florida. We want to win, but how do we look losing? Because if you look non-competitive losing, it's almost like the wins don't seem as good. You like, I mean, we got to be. How do we look? The same thing every year, man. Listen, we got to beat Kentucky, right? We got to do something about these LSU boys. I mean, I get the LSU 0-3. I don't get the Kentucky 0-3. I don't understand it. I don't get it, right? We got to find a way to show Tennessee. I know y'all got a quarterback with a funny last name from Long Beach. Still got to find a way to beat them. And when it comes to teams like Texas, when it comes to teams like Georgia, who, they got Heisman Trophy front runners, they got talented top to bottom, we have to show why we belong on the same field as them. Because perception is reality in college. It's you got to pass the eye test. Box scores only tell you so much. That's why we watch. So for me, it's how many games can he win past 7? How do we look against the top tier team, the Tennessees? I'm sorry, the Texases, the Georgias, the LSU's teams pick to do big things. And are we making strides in the parts of our team that has looked lackluster? We've looked out of sync on defense. We can't get the calls. It's and we can't tackle all these. We got to do the little things better. We got to look competitive against these quote more talented teams. And can we supersede that? Can we supersede our own expectations? I mean, because like I say, 8-4, 7-9-3, 7-5 to me is still, it ain't great, but it's still good with this schedule. But man, I just think that for Billy Napier, just like last year against Tennessee, finally getting that big SEC win. No, man, your big SEC win this year got to be against the LSU, and I'm sorry. I'm not used to this 0-3 against these Wildcats. It's just the weirdest thing every time I say it. Got to find a way to beat teams. Got to find a way to compete with teams who's supposed to be better than you and beat teams you better than. Period. You got to beat the ones you better than. I know that, what is it, Gunnar Stockton or whatever his name, one of them Georgia quarterbacks up there in Kentucky right now. We got to find a way to beat them. And if he does that, because the fellas DJ Lagway is looking, he's on the sideline. He's like, look, man, I'm here. What do I got to look forward to if we ain't? You lose players when you're not winning, and you gain players when you can win and you are winning. recruiting is much easier when you win it. You get your pick of the litter. When you're not winning, you got to wait. So for me, 7-5 is, I guess we can live with it, but he's got to get us out of mediocrity. We got to get out of here and stay out of here, by the way. Get out of here, the mediocrity store, and get no more of our money. None. We going to the standard store and we gonna live in there, but he got to do it. He definitely got to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at the talent composite, if you believe in these talent composites that they put out on the recruiting industry websites, 247 Sports dropped their updated one. Florida was 15th last year. They're now up to 12. They're ahead of the two big three schools, Miami and Florida State, respectively. But at a deeper dive, only four teams that Florida plays out of the 12 are ahead of them in that ranking. So to your point, that means we should be beating potentially eight teams ahead of us if we beat the teams more talented. And I know that's not how it always works out. That is
Yeah.
not how it works out. But in theory, the 12th most talented team in the country should be a ranked team in the country at the very least, a top 25 team in the country, and should be competing on the field like you talk about against the best of the SEC week in and week out. Because to be honest, there's really no excuses after that point. If you've got the talent, you're the guy now 3 years into your tenure, you should see it. You should see the results on the field. Ben, one of the positions, though, that has definitely changed a lot since Napier's gotten here, and it's maybe one of the most important in this offense, and that's the tight end room, the position you played at Florida. I wanted to get your thoughts on what you think about the tight end room this season. You got Arliss Boardingham, Hayden Hansen are projected as the top two starters, but this is a room that boasts seven guys deep. So, what do you think about this room, and can it make a difference in the offense this season?
I think it can make a difference this season because they proved they worth last season. I don't know why every time, I saw Arliss catching the pass, they say he used to play receiver, he's still getting used to the tight end position. No, he's not. No, he is used to the tight end position at this point. And I've had a chance to sit down with Arliss and Hayden Hansen. What they have in Florida is you got guys that have different skill sets. Hayden is going to be my big guy, my hand in the dirt guy. Bull. He always say I'm a bull in the china shop type player. I'm not going to beat nobody with my speed, but I can run over a couple of DBs. You get the ball in my hand. Arliss to me is that Swiss Army knife. Throw him in the offense. He's going to get one-on-ones. I like his ability. He built confidence through the year, by showing his ability. Tony Livingston is another guy that could definitely work into the mix when you start talking about what Florida wants to do. But what the Titans have done is they've proven their worth Monday through Friday. Because everybody want the ball on Saturday. But are you doing it? Are you getting over with a very, very talented receiver group that has guys top to bottom? I think the tight end position for Florida has evolved because it needed to. It was too. We couldn't have Kyle Pitts and then you don't see another good one for another 4 years. You got to do a year. And I tell every tight end come through Florida, don't look at Kyle Pitts tape. Don't do that because that's his real, but that's unreal. I
You
think
get
what
in so
what
much trouble when you make those comparisons, man. That's
yeah, but the reason why you don't do it, is because you're talking about a unicorn, you're talking about a freak of nature. I mean, what Kyle Pitts? What I think his third year of Florida, his first game, he had like 200 and something yards and 4 touchdowns. That was his stat line. What do we? 4 touchdowns. That's a season. So, but I do like that our tight ends have gotten back to understanding just because you play tight end don't mean you're gonna get the rock, and don't just because you play tight end don't mean you're gonna be a focal point. You got to prove it, and the reason why they're proving is because they're accepting their role. When we get to the goal line, listen. I'm telling Coach Billy Gonzalez. I'm talking about Coach Napier. Listen, Hayden Hands, he's 6'6". I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Throw it up to him. Because if you're, and with a guy like, listen, the best play I saw Arliss Boardingham make last year was against South Carolina, and I thought Graham Mertz overthrew him. He stuck his paw. That's a very, very hard play. He made look very because I'm like that DB. I'm laying on the ground. Oh my God, he overthrew him. He caught it. So, and you build confidence week in and week out. So I like the fact that we got two of them. I like the fact that we got a plethora of them. And hopefully those guys, and because we don't have a quote, I mean, I know we got Wilson at the receiver position. We don't really have a real number one. I mean, those guys got a chance to do it by committee, and I hope they do. I hope they continue getting better, as a group because talking about my tight ends, man, it felt like I was talking about the Muschamp McElwain era, man. It was like, God, dog, I don't know what's going on in that room right now, but I'm happy that these guys are finding a way to make their presence felt out there each Saturday.
Well, so I was going to ask you about the tight ends next. You pretty much answered that. So I'll ad lib this question in. I've heard a lot about the upgraded roster. I've heard a lot about the upgraded experience, as I asked you about a moment ago. To me, one of the big keys is there going to be an upgrade in terms of the last year freshmen, this year sophomores play on the field? Because we saw Kelby Collins, a TJ Searcy, a bunch of freshman cornerbacks. We saw them make some plays. We saw them look like freshmen at times. What are you expecting from the freshmen turned sophomores in terms of taking that leap in their second years of the program with a new strength and conditioning coach, with new position coaches, and just how good can this defense be if those guys do what they're supposed to do?
I see them playing. I see them playing with confidence because they got that freshman experience. And the reason why I say that is, when we kept saying how many freshmen we was playing in 2023, while everybody else like, wow, I'm like, well, that's not always a good thing because you got that many young guys playing. And like you said, when you say they look like freshmen, yeah, they're gonna look like freshmen more. Look at who they're going up against week in and week out. They're not getting, okay competition, but because they battled through it. They battle tested. Now, sophomore season, man, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know where I'm supposed to be. I know how to play within this scheme. I know how to play this coverage. I know how to play. If I'm in cover three, I'm playing cover three. I'm not trying to jump stuff. I trust my guys around me. Now you can just read and react. That's the greatest thing about trial by fire. I can read and react. The best players are not thinking; they're just playing and reacting. They're not thinking. They know what a team is trying to do to them. And a freshman in Florida, man, it's like you played 2 seasons. If you got to start as a freshman in the defensive backfield or wherever on the, so yeah, I expect those guys to make leaps and bounds only because the season didn't go well. And as a freshman, if I'm a true freshman and the season don't go well, I'm gonna put more. I don't know how to handle emotions yet either. I don't know how to deal with them. 18, 19 years old. But I think this year, a play that was missed last year, it's definitely going to be capitalized on this year because they've built more confidence. They understand. Because understanding the game is about as much as it takes more to understand it than to know the scheme. I got to understand angles and spacing and, okay. Because sometimes we just look lost. Like sometimes we in the stands like, what? I don't think that's going to happen this year because they're not going to be trying to do too much.
All
Fair
right.
enough. Well, all right, Chris, go ahead.
Oh, no, that was it. I was gonna ask him another question, and then we are gonna head it, I think, into our Miami preview. So, uh, Troop, what do you think the record's ultimately going to be for this squad? And I guess without giving your Miami prediction now,
Got you.
we're going to do that for the end. But you mentioned 7-5 to 9-3. Where do you fall on the
I would
prediction?
say this: floor 7-5. I mean, I see us
Okay.
winning 7 games because and that's an impressive 7-5 when you start talking about who we're playing. Now, do I think we capable of? I think we're capable of stealing one and getting to 8-4. Right now, I'm gonna go back to the first 6 weeks of the season. Just say first 6 weeks we have done the unthinkable. We are 6-0. Right? Just say we 5-1, but we've built confidence over that span. Now, because y'all know this, if we don't build confidence in the first 6 weeks, some of these teams, because people talking about Ole Miss coming up, they got to come to Florida at the end of the year. Two things gonna happen. They're gonna have to deal with the atmosphere and they're gonna have to deal with healthy bodies. We're gonna have to be dealing with it too. If we build confidence by that time, we can beat Ole Miss at home. And I think that's another thing that's not said about the schedule is we get a lot of home games. A lot. So I think our floor is 7-5. I think our ceiling is 9-3. I'm gonna rest on that 8-4 because I just think that this Florida team, they got one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Not in the SEC, in the country. If the team around him can up their play, keep him healthy, 12 weeks, hey man, he take care of the football better than anybody I've seen in a long time. And this is coming from a player who quote is afraid to push the ball down the field. He got 2,900. Anyway, I don't know. I don't. So for me, 7-5 is the most realistic. 8-4 is when I'm gonna put them at. 9-3. Hey man, if we go 9-3, man, I'm gonna get one of my nephews, put him on a three-piece suit, and we going to Vegas.
I
So
like that idea. I really like that idea. So let's move on and talk about the Gators opener against the Miami Hurricanes. It is game week. Football is upon us. As Gator fans, we're going to be so excited to pack that swamp and make sure that we give the Gators a real home field advantage, which I think is something a lot of people are talking about as one of the things that could decide this game. Before we get to that, though, you obviously have experience playing against the Miami Hurricanes. Tell me about some of those battles because it is sort of a lost rivalry in terms of we don't play it very much anymore. So give our fans a little bit of especially our newer fans, a little bit of an education on the Florida Miami rivalry, especially from your experience.
my experience with the Florida Miami rivalry was not a good one because we talking about the Miami heyday. We talking about when Miami was Miami running the Big East. I think this is before they came over to the ACC. We're talking about the 2000, 2001, 2002. Well, I played against the 2000 in the Sugar Bowl, where the starter the quarterback no Glenn Dorsey was a quarterback. The starting running back was Clinton Portis. Their backup running back was Frank Gore. Their third string running back was Willis McGahee. Their starting receivers was Santana Moss, Reggie Wayne, and Andre Johnson. That's their receivers. Their returners were Devin Hester. I don't know if you ever heard of him before, and Roscoe Parrish. Their starting safeties was Ed Reed, Al Blaze, and they had this backup named Sean Taylor. Don't know if you ever heard of him. I mean, they started tight end was I think it was
Jeremy Shockey,
Jackson. Backup tight end was
Kellen
Kellen
Winslow.
Winslow. Back up to Kellen Winslow was Greg Olson. Back up to Greg Olson was Jimmy Graham. Back up to Jimmy Graham was David Njoku. That's their tight ends, right? Basically, when I played against them, the best shot we had was my senior year, 2003. We the night game. We down there playing them, and Brock Berlin, former Florida Gator, former teammate, was a quarterback, but we was beating them, and then they started knocking all our quarterbacks out. They knocked Chris Leak out, then they knocked Engel Martin out. Then we had to play with Gavin Dickey. Well, Gavin Dickey's the third string, and he knew the offense, but he didn't know it. So he's out there calling plays we didn't have to throw the receivers that weren't there. Long story short, they came back. I think it's one of the biggest comebacks they've ever had. But I respect the rivalry more than anything because I'm a Georgia boy. So I got indoctrinated into this Florida Miami rivalry. Most of those guys grew up either with each other, playing against each other. We orange and blue, they orange and green. We North Florida, they South Florida. You know, it was just a healthy dislike for each other, but it was a respect level. You respected everybody out there. I think now the difference in Florida and Miami is the directions we've gone in. Miami has gone in a direction that I never thought I would see it. Because obviously I'm orange and blue no matter what, but I still, understand what goes on with the other two of the big three. I don't know what's going on with Miami. Miami's never won ACC. Never. Like, no, hold on. No, you've never won it. Like, never. I've seen Miami go to bowl games and not score. I saw who was it came to
FIU beat them in the old Orange Bowl
I
grounds.
can't remember what it was an FBS team.
Middle Tennessee State 2 years ago.
They came.
Duke put 45 on them.
Listen. It's baffling. The same way Florida has, Swamp Kings on Netflix. You know how many 30 for 30s Miami used to have? Every coach they used to have used to win the national championship. Then I don't know what happened. So for me, yes, we are renewing a rivalry, but I think the difference is Florida lives in like a realistic world. I don't know. I really don't know what world Miami lives in because I remember 4 years ago, I'm on my show talking to Clinton Portis. Had him on the show. And Clinton Portis was like, yeah, Ben Troupe, listen, I know you went to Florida, but I know you don't want to. He said I didn't want to put no money up. I like Clinton. I said, Clinton, you gonna let your pride get in there. And this is when, it's Felipe, it's Kadarius Toney. We down there playing them in Orlando. I worked, I'm in the booth. I'm up there in the press box working this game. And the thing was, Miami fans coming to me to my being, what you think gonna happen? I said, perception gonna happen for 3 quarters, reality gonna happen in the fourth quarter. We're gonna walk away with a dub, and that's what happened. That is exactly. So for me, I like the renewal of the rivalry. But listen, Cam Ward, these players that ain't never played for Miami, coming from other schools, you don't know what you're talking about. Like when Cam Ward is going on these other podcasts talking about Graham Mertz, don't do that because you don't know what you're talking about. Ask Joe Milton what it's like to play at Florida. Ask him. Ask the players, even players that won, ask them. You think coming to Florida easy to win? All right. Joe Milton was talking trash before the season last year. We're going to go to Florida and win. What would he know about that? What would any Tennessee Vol know about coming to Florida and winning? So for me, I love it. Love the trash talk. Love the banter back and forth. But Miami fans are real similar to Dallas Cowboy fans. They are very, very, very similar. They are living in the past in a way that is hard to describe because reality, it ain't as. Plus, I would tell Miami this, which is true. If y'all are as good as y'all say y'all are, which y'all, why y'all can't play without a transfer quarterback? Because every time y'all gonna be good, it's a transfer. It's not a guy that y'all recruited. Y'all did not recruit him. So, listen, like I say. Oh, and the last time, wait a minute. The last time Florida played at Miami, first game of the year, they had a what? Transfer quarterback. You're supposed to just, I'm just saying. Hey, they got to play. I know they got to play. I know my phone gonna have a bunch of 305 area codes, 954 area codes calling me this time next week. But when I called them back, getting dial tones, getting set, getting sent, sending me the voicemail or whatever, sorry, Troupe, I ain't got time. Hey man, I don't bet anymore. My wife wouldn't want me betting, plus they didn't want to pay me out. They wouldn't have paid me if had I won. But it is a beautiful rivalry. Florida, Miami is a part of the college football fabric. I'm looking forward to it. But people say why they do it in Florida and not Miami. Well, have you seen some of these Miami games lately? Have you seen these stadiums?
It's not even their stadium.
The cameraman is like they was like, dude, are you panning out? No, this is one section looking like this. So, hey man, but it is great. It is great for the fans. It is great for the alumni. It is great for onlookers. I'm just looking forward to a good game. But at the same time, if you never won your conference, why are you talking so loud? You've never won your. I asked a Miami fan, you ever been to Charlotte? They said to see the Panthers. No, no. For the AC Championship game. No, no, no. That's where they play it at? Yeah. Oh, okay. At least I know. They don't even know the ACC Championship game is played in Miami because they're not going.
Well,
So
they were there once. Hey, give them credit. They were there once in 2017, and they lost 38-3. Let's just set the record straight.
listen. So basically, they didn't go. Basically, you're like, man, we going home. That stadium. Anyway, I'm just looking. Listen, I got a lot of friends that played in Miami. I respect every last one of them. I'm looking for that sideline going to be star-studded. It is going to be a Michael Irvin spotting somewhere in Gainesville. He going to be talking real loud. He done drunk 12 Red Bulls. I don't get it. I don't get. Listen. The U is not what it used to be. You or who are y'all better be ready because I think the Florida team, yeah. Listen, just like it's this, and it's gonna be horns down this year. Hey man, yeah. For people say we don't do that, you got to respect the U. No, the U don't respect the U. We respect Florida. Everything else we don't care. Orange and green, that little duck. Who cares?
To hear Lewis Murphy say it, Miami's not even good enough to be considered the U, right? Because his quote from 2008, if the U is for university and winning and championships, we, Florida, are the U. I don't refer to them as the U. I refer to them as Miami. We're the U. We are the U, not you. They're Miami. That is what I call them. That was his quote.
Listen, he backed it up, didn't he?
He did.
He backed up everything he said. No, it's man, don't get me stuck. Man, I can stomach Miami fans because I don't think they believe what they say. Miami fans are politicians, man. They're trying to get votes. They don't believe the things they say. They're just trying to get you to vote for them, and then they're gonna go home. They don't believe because think about it. Somebody say, "All right, show me the last time y'all were dominant." Not good, dominant. Man, why you got to go there? See, they don't even want to do that. Remember when Miami was supposed to be real good, and Sam Howell and all them in North Carolina went down there wearing all black, and they just ran the ball on them, play after play after play, hand it off. Don't Cristobal, listen to me. You're not gonna do what Steve Spurrier did. Let me get a former Hurricane to go bring it back to what? Like, what are we going back to? The U is back. To what? Like, what are we talking about? That's all when they say we're back, to what? Texas actually made it to the college football playoffs. So for 1 year, they were back. Miami got great weather, right? Beautiful people live down there. That's it. Because if you were winning, your stadium would look like Vanderbilt. It would not look like that on game day. I don't care. It just wouldn't. And I'm a Falcon. So, the Falcons allowed, but it would have a bunch of people at the game.
Very true. Very true. All right, Drew. Well, we're going to break this game down here in a second. But before we do that, let's get to our ad read.
Before we finish the show, got to shout out our sponsors. The All Kinds of Weather Forecast is proudly sponsored by 401k Generation, the wealth management company that helps you invest today for your future tomorrow. Their team of advisors is committed to providing guidance and education for your 401k plan and its participants, and they offer a range of enrollment solutions tailored to meet the unique needs of your company's 401k plan. Whether it's savings for your child's college, investment advice, or even your retirement, 401k Generation's team of advisors makes getting to know you their top priority. Their advisors will tailor a path to assist you in navigating life's financial milestones and reaching your financial goals. That's 401k Generation, building stronger futures, one generation at a time. For more information, please contact them at 866-998-5879 or visit their website at 401kgeneration.com.
And with all that taken care of, Ben, it's time to get your thoughts on this game. Of course, we've been talking a lot about Miami and how they're not really back yet. And that's really backed up by the fact that Miami going into this game, 7-6 last season, a losing record in the ACC. Mario Cristobal only boasts a record that's one game better than Billy Napier. Billy Napier 11-14, Mario Cristobal 12-13 in 2 seasons. I mean, that's in the ACC, not the SEC. Florida's had a more difficult schedule in the last 2 seasons than Miami has, and have lost to way worse opponents than the Gators have in that time. But they have brought in some talent, and obviously their transfer quarterback Cam Ward was electric at Washington. They do have guys like Ruben Bain on the defensive side of the ball.
Washington State, I think you mean.
I beg your pardon, Washington State. I guess I was thinking of Ace Turner there on our side of things. But, this is a team that is bringing in some talent through the transfer portal. They have won some head-to-head recruiting battles against Napier over the last couple of seasons. But this game is at home. This game's at home. Florida is a slight underdog, 2.5 points. And history shows that the Gators tend to play very well when they're slight underdogs at home. They've won a lot of those matchups. So, Ben, what are you looking for in this game? What do you think the biggest storyline for the Gators and the Hurricanes is heading into it?
I think the biggest storyline for this game is to put pressure on Cam Ward and keep pressure on him because I think the thing is, yes, you were really really good where you were, but that's not where you at. So I think for Florida is look, man, use the home crowd, use the home field advantage, and listen, get off the rock on third down, get the ball back to the offense because I think for Florida. I don't know if Montreal is going to play for the first game. I hope he does. But I think if he doesn't play for one game, I think we're going to be just fine with Trayon and company. But run the football on offense, push the ball down the field. But I think for our defense, just tackle and get off the field. Because, everybody, I know we talked a little bit, about, first game. No one knows what no team is first game. Nobody. I don't know what no team is. I don't care what a team is going to be. So for Florida is, look, we got the better quarterback. I like Cam Ward. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's better than Graham Mertz. I don't think a lot of quarterbacks are better than Graham Mertz. And let me say this: when I say better than somebody, I mean that means that Cam Ward can do something that Graham Mertz can't. And I'm not talking about dual threat. Right? I'm talking about they pay. They get quarterbacks to push the ball down the field, take care of the football, put us in position to win. I think Graham Mertz checks off all three of those boxes. I think Cam Ward wants to, Cam Ward came down to Miami. I remember when he came in the portal. He's a really, really good player. But I just think that the talent level on our defense can match up. Listen, even though this defensive end will go unnamed because he's no longer with Florida. He's at Ole Miss now. We were playing Tennessee. They're going to try to run Joe Milton in on a 2-point conversion. I'll run him to the sideline. What happened? He got caught. Because I think what Cam Ward is going to realize is you're not running away from us. Our defense can run with you. And I know he's going to have guys, I know he got, some players around him. But I think this game comes down to execution. The team that executes the best wins the line of scrimmage, time possession, got a chance to win. I think Florida does all three of those things. And we've got to the point in Florida, we don't care how it looks. We care that you win. I don't care. It could be ugly. I could deal with an ugly win, right? Than a subpar loss. I think Florida, gets the dub, which I will get to, but the story of this game is going to be execution. Cam Ward has been on his celebrity tour. I be watching him with Shadur Sanders and them, telling people, you ain't getting your work. And that kind of stuff is cute, man. But people think just because somebody films you talking, the best players in the world, you don't know what they do. They do it on the days that matter, right? I ain't never now Aaron Donald. I used to watch him do the little thing with the knives. I wouldn't tell people to do that, but I just think this game comes down to execution. When you see the things I've heard about Florida in the spring as well as the summer and fall camp is, guys are flying around because they got the scheme, they know what they're supposed to be doing, and they're doing it. And don't be afraid to push the ball down the field with Graham Mertz because not saying it's going to happen, but if a pass gets intercepted 40 yards down the field, it's like a punt. It's just like a change of possession. But hey man, let's go out there and show what we've been working towards. And I think our D line, our front seven, I think Florida's front seven gonna be nice. And we got depth. All right, Cam. You Cam Ward, by the way, sir. You are not Cam Newton. I'm just saying, like Cam Ward. I'm just saying. Because I guess, listen, let me say this. Hold on. Let me stop. Cam Ward, I'm not coming at you personally. I don't know you. I'm rooting for you as a player, not to win the game. So let me apologize because these Miami fans be talking so much that I come at the players.
No, don't apologize to
No,
them. They don't
that is
deserve
a
it.
quote right there. That is a
I'm
quote.
just saying, you Cam Ward, you ain't Cam Newton. Because what happens is, right? Cam Newton's the one that's Cam. Like, people get to thinking, man, I'm this and I'm that. Here's my thing, excluding Joe Burrow, excluding like Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray, if you were that good, you wouldn't have left where you was at. That's just me. If you were that good, you wouldn't have left. Because that's what everybody thinking, right? You think you're finna do what Joe Burrow did? Man, I'm gonna go to another school and go undefeated. That's 2019. What happened 2018 when he came to the Swamp? Why nobody talk about that? Why nobody talk about what Joe Burrow came to the Swamp in 2018? I'm sorry. Did we pick it? Did Bradley pick it off and punt it? No. Bradley picked it off and scored. I want to say the linebacker. He punted it because he wanted to do
Joseph.
Yes, he wanted to do the Brandon Spikes impression, right? So all I'm saying is, if you were that nice, man, which you nice, but you ain't that nice because you would still be at, what I'm saying? But you're a quarterback, so y'all gonna have a landing spot. Remember, like JT Daniels, that came out of USC, then he went to Georgia,
a 4-time transfer.
Then he went. I think he's in coaching now. Only reason why people said the only reason why JT Daniels can't transfer no more because he has no eligibility left. He'll be transferring right now if he could. So, but listen, I just think that Florida gets to. They get the man. You get to like, just really, really, just like let these Miami boys know that we for real too. And because I think sometimes it's what Graham Mertz told me. He said, "Man, we ain't gonna sneak up on nobody because we won 6 games, 5, 6 games. And we ain't gonna sneak up on nobody." He say, but people act like we getting blown out when we losing. Like we didn't win, we get it. The other teams beat us. We had some bad losses. He said, but what's gonna happen when we punch back? That's what he said. They're gonna punch us. They don't think we're gonna punch back. We're gonna punch you back. We're gonna punch you again. And to me, Florida just keep punching back because I believe Florida wants to win for their coach. I believe Miami just hope they win so their coach can say, Florida wants to win for their coach now. They believe in Billy, man. All of them do. And when you playing for your coach, because as great of a man Billy Napier is, or what he does with Gator Man, all this kind of stuff, you got to win. So for me, you Cam Ward, sir. Push the ball.
To,
You ain't Cam Newton. Hey, we'll see. We'll see.
to be fair, there is a history now in the transfer portal era of quarterbacks going from one school to another and taking a big step forward. Graham Mertz is the big one that Gator fans know, but also Spencer Rattler. You have Hendon Hooker. You have Michael Penix. There, there is that door that's open. It
It
does
is.
happen. It's just I don't think that Cam Ward is any of those
But
types of
here's the
things.
thing, too. We talking about
What?
to compare anything to the success stories is not being truthful, because that is the exception. How many quarterbacks are on team number three? There's a guy that played in Ireland today. Ain't he on team number three? Because he played quarterback, right? I think the thing is quarterbacks get second and third chances because they say, no, our scheme, our scheme, our scheme. Pretty soon you got to learn the offense, play the game. Learn offense, play the game. Because when we talk about the best quarterbacks, yeah, Cam Newton, he was at Florida, he left, go to Auburn. I get it. It happens. But that's the exception. That's the exception. Because here's the thing. If they don't pan out, you know what they say? Well, he on team number two. He on
Yeah,
team number three. So if you pan out, hey man, this was just a scheme for him. All I'm saying is this. It looks different in person, man. I tell you that football is different in person. When you watching it from the stands, they moving a lot faster than they move on the field. Well, just imagine when you own the field, you one of the ones moving. Telling you. So, hey man, people have a lot to say about Florida. I get it. I get it. Everybody want to laugh and joke. We're gonna have our knuckles ready though. We're gonna punch back. I guarantee it.
that's a good quote. We're gonna have our knuckles ready. So Ben, as you know, because you were on the show before, you actually were on the show 2 years ago when we talked about Florida, Utah, another big game that the Gators had to open the season against a name brand opponent. Crowd was rocking. Florida won. Obviously, fans were happy about that. They made a big impact as the home crowd. Let's talk Florida, Miami specifically. We talked matchups. We talked about guys to watch. I think the one we did not talk about, to me, Xavier Restrepo, the wide receiver for the Canes. But I mean, we talked about Ruben Bain. We talked about the quarterback matchup, Cam Ward versus Graham Mertz. There's a lot of different places that you can go with this answer. But what is the one position on position matchup to you that's going to decide the game? And then give me your percent chance that you think Florida has to win the game and what you think the final score would be. For those of you who are listening, yes, this is the verdict. We're calling it a show in style with Ben Troupe giving us his picks, his verdict, the only way that he can. Go ahead,
You know
Ben. It's
what? You know
yours.
what? I think the matchup is going to be. I think the matchup going to be our DBs versus their receivers, because I think I guarantee you Miami is looking at the tape last year and they're thinking, oh, we can exploit this. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. And the reason why I say it is our biggest our biggest weakness last year, right, was the one-on-one matchups in our DBs, whether that's making a tackle, just coming up making a tackle, or just making a play on the ball, right? Right, wrong, and different. Us the tournament, I'm telling y'all, because they saying, look, they weak right here, they weak right here. Look, I'm telling y'all right now, I see us really, really taking advantage of that matchup because Will Harris, man, everywhere Will Harris has been, look at what happened to them DBs. Not on his watch, man. He ain't allowed to have subpar play. So for me, I think the matchup is going to be our DBs and their receivers. Because I remember, what's the receiver you just said his name, the one from last year?
Xavier Restrepo,
Yeah, he had like
or
yeah,
maybe
I
Jacoby George. I guess
I
both of
know he
them
had.
could be eyeballed as X factors. But yeah, I mean, they do have a good
Listen,
receiving
listen,
core for sure.
the best DB on our team when he is healthy is Devin Moore. When he is healthy, he is nice. His thing has always been health, right? Jason Marshall came back because he said, I can't let my resume look like this, man. I can't do that. And Sharif Denson, Jordan Castell. I just think when they get to throwing the football and realize, hey, bro, it's a no-fly zone. I'm telling you, I just see it. That's what because I think our running game gonna be fine. I think our linebackers gonna be good. I really do. I think our D line gonna be good. But I think the best match we're coming to see our DBs versus their receivers, our D line versus their O line. But I think the matchup is gonna be the DBs versus and I like our chances when you talk about what's our percent. You said our percentage to win. You say something about a percentage or something?
Yeah, so we went game by game before the season and predicted what percent chance we have for Florida to win each game. As the season goes along, we're going to go along with our guests and also ask them the week of the game, what percent chance do you assign Florida to win the game?
I give them because listen, I'm always giving them a 50-50 chance because it's just that. But because we at home, I give a 60%. I think the crowd gonna help. I really do. So I give us a 60% chance to win. I think this Florida team is led by their quarterback. And I think they understand, look, man, most football, whoever got the better quarterback got the best chance to win. They think their quarterback is better. They're supposed to think that. They're supposed to think that. If I were to close your eyes and say, hey, give me a quarterback to give me 2,900 yards, 20 touchdowns, 3 picks. Yeah, that's Graham Murray. That's a real person. But he wasn't that good. Carson Beck had 29 touchdowns last year. 29. And he's a Heisman Trophy front runner. I'm just saying. The Heisman Trophy front runner had 9 more touchdowns and 3 more picks.
Mertz also missed the game at the end of the season and did not get an SEC championship game to play in.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And I know Jackson Dart, quarterback for Ole Miss. I think he had like 28 touchdowns, like 5 picks. These are Heisman front runners. But the guy at Florida, man, he all right. Is he? I'm just I'm just saying. So for me, and then as far as like a score prediction, man, I'll say give me like give me 20, give me 28, give me like 28-20 Florida. Because it's gonna be a good game. Like it's gonna be a good game. It's not like Miami don't recruit well. It's not like they're not a good team. It's just one guy just got there and the other guy been there. Graham been there. He knows what it takes. He's done it. Remember this time last year, everybody was saying, hey, man, Florida would have been good if they wouldn't have had this Graham kid, man. I don't know if he's ready for it. Remember we kept saying that? I don't think he's ready for this. And all year in 2023, and I can be honest, we're just waiting for him to look normal, waiting for him to look at, and he never did. Never. Who we thought was going to be the weak link was actually a strong link in the chain. It was everybody but Graham. Graham was nice. He was nice in 2024, 2023. That's what trying to figure it out. What you think gonna be in 2024? With more weapons. George that came over from Alabama, he could have went anywhere. He came to Florida, didn't he? Okay. Asa could have went anywhere. Man, Pop could have went anywhere. These are players that could have started. Hey man, Asa, man, where you going? I'm going to Florida. Pup, where you going? I'm going to Florida. George, where you going? I'm going to Florida. Why? What? You know why Pup came to Florida? Because he saw Osiris Torrance. He wants some of that. He want a brick. I'm telling you, they be watching. Osiris Torrance was the best offensive guard in college football, and he was at Louisiana a year before. Man, Ben and Napier can coach people. It just ain't related to the wins yet. 65% chance. Listen, it's going to be a 65% chance of rain. And I'm not talking about physical rain. We're going to be raining on them hurricane boys. And, hey, man, our knuckles will be ready. We're going to punch. Listen, we're going to punch back. That's it. If I walked in the house and my mom said, what's wrong with you? Man, kid just beat me up. Why? Because he was punching. My daddy said, go back out there and punch him, punch back. What? My daddy gonna say, go back out there and hit him back. But daddy, he hit him back. Because most bullies think they're bullies so they get hit back. Miami's not a bully. They think they are. All right. Cam Jackson, slim down, ready. Big Daz, huh? What is it? Boom time and the boom. He kept saying boom time. Boom time. Florida, do what y'all do, man. I'm not gonna be one of them old Gators on the sideline slapping guys in the helmet, pumping them up. No, man. I got gray in my beard, buddy. I got kids in high school now. I ain't tripping. I got kids 3 years away from signing to go to Florida, like Miles Graham and them. I want Florida to enjoy the hell out of this. And when we beat Miami, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Miami fans, I'm trolling. I'm trolling Saturday night. Y'all gonna hate me. I'm just telling you. Listen. I'm not gonna be mature at all after the game. Now, for about 2 hours, then I'm gonna go back to being professional. But for about 2 hours after the game, I'm trolling everybody. Listen to me. Listen. Listen, what would Miami fans as of late know anything about winning anything significant? We the greatest thing ever happened to Miami. They know it. We know it. It's all good. They know.
Well,
I'm
Ben,
loving y'all shirts, by the way, man. Loving them shirts.
oh yeah, we love the game. For those watching on YouTube, Neil and I got those beautiful shirts, and you can pick yours up on our website at anallkinsweather.com /merch. And Ben, you should pick yourself up one. You can get one for yourself too if you
I'm,
like.
I'm thinking of this. I'm gonna have to listen. Y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I am in the podcast game for people like yourselves, man. Y'all make it fun to do it. Y'all let me know that being yourself is what people come for the. They come for the analytics. They stay for the stories. They stay for the sound bites. But I know Miami fans think I'm trolling. I'm not trolling. Yeah, tell me when y'all win ACC. See how quiet it get? Cause you can. Think about that.
Big
Y'all
goose egg.
got y'all got about as much tradition in the ACC in the championship game as Duke.
That's right.
I'm just saying.
That's
Heck,
right.
even SMU just joined the conference, and they only
Listen,
have one more
listen,
appearance than they do.
SMU said, "Hey man, when we came, listen, we took a tour of y'all facility, man. We ain't seen no where y'all ACC championship like trophies at. What you mean? Like in football? Like y'all got a trophy case? Yeah. That thing I just walked by? Yeah, the thing they ain't got but glass. Yeah. They said we're gonna fill it up, but we've been saying that since we got here. Yeah,
Empty full of dust. Empty
but
full of dust.
let us tell it. Listen, most of those young men, most of those young men that's in college right now, they was born in 2001, 2002. That's how long it's been. What? Yeah. And I will say this though, the greatest college football team of all time, it might be the 2001 Canes. I can't lie about that. I can't. They were incredible. Kyle
No
Pitts was
doubt.
born in 2000. Kyle Pitts was born in 2000, which means the last time they was good, he was one. Stop playing with me, man.
And I would still fight for the '08 Gators because they played a really, really good schedule.
Listen. We don't, Florida. We don't get no credit for nothing. Let people tell it. Tim Tebow, he was all right. Anybody could cover Percy, right? Our running backs weren't
Sure.
that fast, right?
Sure. Why not?
Our DBs weren't that good. Major Wright, he ain't got the greatest hit in college football national championship history. It was all right. It was okay. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thought though. When I say things like, when I say things like, how David Pollack gonna be better than Brandon Spikes when Brandon Spikes won two national championships, two SEC championships, and he was a two-time first team All American? They gonna say, well, David Pollack was a three-time first team All American, and you can't be the greatest if you didn't win anything. You could be real good though. You could be the Hall of Very Good. I'm I'm sorry. I'm just getting into other debates. I don't know why I had to tell that to the Georgia because they be like, people say David Pollard, the greatest defensive end ever come through SEC. David Pollard wasn't better than Alex Brown. Man, I'm sorry. I'm not going to go off in a tangent. Miami fans, welcome to Gainesville. We're looking forward to having y'all. We will roll the red carpet out when we see y'all, but we're gonna try to beat the hell out of y'all on the field.
All
Beat them up
14
on
of
the
y'all.
field. Yeah, yeah. Listen, all
Yeah.
14 of y'all that came in the same van, and the van said, "We are Miami fans." We know. We get it. We get it.
They look like Dallas Cowboy fans, as you mentioned
All right,
earlier
listen,
in the
listen,
show.
listen, listen,
Yeah.
listen, listen. Miami fans. This ain't baseball season. Y'all talk a lot of trash baseball season,
Where
but
we own you
football.
too. Where we also own you guys.
Listen, listen. At the end of the day, people don't. They don't want it. People say, "Why do they call Florida the everything school?" Because we want it all in everything. Like we want it all in everything. And I know Tennessee Vols won the baseball this year, but you can't call.
Nothing
Just,
in
just leave
basketball.
us alone. Top five public institution. Just leave us alone. Y'all got the weather. That's all y'all got though.
Well, it's like Kendrick Lamar says, they not like us.
Facts. Listen. Y'all, they don't hate us. They don't hate us because it's us. They hate us because it's never been them. Like it's never been y'all. God dog. The ACC be kicking Miami fans out. They say, man, we just want to see what the championship trophy look like. All right, take the pictures and leave. Don't touch it. Because we're not gonna get one. We're
Well,
not gonna
I don't know, Neil. I think we've got quite a few sound bites here that we're going
We
to be
got a
able to
lot. We
drop
got. We got a
throughout the
lot of
I'm
week.
clipping to
listen,
do. We got a lot of
listen,
clipping to do
There's
and
some
reel
content
making to
here.
do.
I'm just saying if Miami wins the ACC championship, I said, okay, cool. I'm gonna say in what? He ain't talking about football.
Here's a clip for me because Ben's dominated them. But here's one for me. Miami has scored fewer points and touchdowns in the ACC championship game than Notre Dame. And Notre Dame has been in the ACC for one season. Miami for more than 20.
I know. Listen. I respect. Listen. Do I respect Miami as a school? Yeah. Do I respect what they've done? Yeah. But $3 bills aren't real. $2 bills, huh? So you got counterfeit money. I'm just saying it ain't real. It's not like it's not like they be talking like we don't know, like we don't got facts or we don't have eyes. We can see. And I get it. Listen, I played against the Clinton Porters of the world. I played against, the greatest, some of the greatest players ever come through Miami. I remember when Brandon Merriweather was supposed to go to Florida. He went to Miami thinking, man, we're gonna win championships down here. How many you get, Brandon? And Brandon told me when he was on his visit, True, he said, True, how many championships you got? C Spurrier last SEC championship was 2000. Oh, dang, that was my freshman year. I said, let's compare. Let's compare hands. On the rings you got on your finger, you bought them. Mine came in a box. SEC champion on the front. Uh-oh. I said, Brandon, don't do this. Don't do this. The last time we saw you, you was getting in a fight against FAU. That's the last time.
Uh-oh.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Uh-oh.
Love you, Brandon. Love you, Brandon Merriweather. Love you. But it's like, come on, listen, come on, Miami fans. Oh,
Was it FAU or FIU where they were
it was
swinging?
that. Listen,
FIU.
it was a big mess, and it was
Yeah.
on a field goal or something like that.
It
Like,
was on an extra point.
yeah, if you ever want to know the frustration of a Miami player and fan, just show that clip. Everything you want to know is right there. Players trying to get thrown out so they don't have to deal with this. I'm gonna get thrown out there. I can't take no more of this. I'm gonna get in the fight.
Oh boy.
On the extra point. So
Not to
much
be
fun.
confused with the time that Miami played FIU and lost the game. Those were different embarrassments against
And
FIU.
FIU said we're the real like you. Didn't they say that we're the real you?
They did.
Well, they were the second best team in the Miami Metroplex because they lost to FAU, which in turn makes the Miami Hurricanes the third best team in the Miami Metroplex. So,
Hey, listen,
bronze medal.
they getting the club free. They definitely gonna get in the club free. They still very popular down there. Not a big fan of the color scheme. Yeah, they got orange, but that green, it can kind of get on my nerves a little bit. They do. They black. Listen, they think they black uniforms look better than Florida's, even though we just, unveiled ours. But no, it's cool, man. I mean, Miami's a beautiful place to visit, man. You want to take your family on vacation, man? But people say I'm gonna take my family when Miami goes to Charlotte. Miami don't go to Charlotte unless nope, they just no. Yes, they do
For the
because that's
ACC
what
baseball tournament.
no ACC Media Days. ACC Media Days is in Charlotte, so they do get to go before the season starts, not after the season. So
Well, Ben, we've loved this trash talk, this conversation. I think we had a podcast, the first part that was analytical and a breakdown of the team in Miami, and then we got into some trash talk at the end. So what more could you ask for in an episode here that previews Miami as now we enter the first game of the season and the Miami preview? Bravo, Ben Troupe. You are a fantastic guest
hey
as
man, I
always.
appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Anytime you guys need me, and like I say, people say, listen, when the Miami fans come at me on Twitter or X or whatever you
We
call
got
it,
your back.
Instagram.
We got your back.
No, listen, man. I'm gonna say two things the truth does. It's constant, yeah, and it pisses you off. If you don't, and it's gonna piss them off. They're gonna be like, Ben, stop saying the truthful things on there. I'm just saying, man. Like y'all old players can't come out there and play for y'all. Ray Lewis can't run out there, and Ed Reed and Warren Sapp, and but listen, if y'all really want to make y'all mad, yeah, the greatest running back in NFL history is still Emmitt Smith. You don't gotta like it. Just the truth. The greatest because he won championships and he got the most yards and he got the most touchdowns. How can he not be the greatest? Because he went to Florida. Wow. Get people get mad. Listen, I'm not saying he better than Barry Sanders. I'm not saying he better. I said he greater.
More
What?
accomplished for
Listen,
sure.
listen, I'm the greatest. Listen, he's the greatest. Like Justin Herbert is the Dan Marino of this era. He gonna throw for a bunch of yards. He gonna win a championship. He should have won to Miami.
Oh man.
You
All
need to leave
right.
me alone. I'm out of here. I am out of here because
We will leave it there.
I appreciate y'all for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Ben, for coming on. Thank you all for listening, for watching. Make sure for all of you that are watching on YouTube to like our show here. Leave a comment down below of what you think about this upcoming season and maybe some of the trash talk that Ben's gotten into today. And if you're listening on any of our audio platforms, rate us, leave us 5 stars. It helps us reach Gator Nation with some more great content just like this. So, from all of us here at the All Kinds Weather Forecast, thank you so much. Go Gators. Thanks again, Ben.